Ladies and gentlemen, we have another chat on the timeline here. Why I chose to be homeless and starve than sell my soul. All right, hardest decision of my life.
Well,
Let's
I
see.
decided to starve, be homeless, and suffer through all of these experiences rather than selling my soul. The number one biggest reason is because I have experienced what it is like to sell my soul multiple times as I was growing up. Growing up, my family, we were not well off, but we also weren't lacking. The culture of doing everything to survive was definitely in play in our family. And I took it upon myself to carry that tradition along.
All right.
I got a job while I was in high school just so I could pay for my own lunch money because, well, that was something that I had to do
I'm guessing he's from the US where he has a debt to just go to school.
in order to go to the public schools. And I also worked long and hard so that I can afford to buy my own gaming system because my
Nice.
family didn't have the money to purchase gaming systems for me, so I had to earn it for myself.
I wonder what his first game was.
And the way I did
Let's
that
go.
was by working at McDonald's. A lot of people probably have experienced working at similar jobs such as McDonald's.
Yeah.
Yeah. Later on, as I grew older and actually graduated from high school, I then decided to carry on that same type of lifestyle by enlisting in the Marine Corps. I didn't have to enlist in the Marine Corps, I will be absolutely honest with you guys. I could have joined the National Guard or whatever, but it was an ego thing that drove me to do the Marines because I had heard from a lot of different people that the Marines are the biggest, baddest, proudest branch in the United States. And so I was like, well, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do the best and the proudest.
Sure.
So that's what I did. I enlisted in the Marine Corps, chose to be a motor T operator, which is a truck driver essentially, and served my time in the military as best as I could, just so that I can pay for my college. That is the sole reason why I enlisted in the Marine Corps.
Makes
A lot
sense.
of people would like to say they enlisted because of their love of country or because they want to serve their country. Same thing. Or they have like a family that served before, so they wanted to carry on the tradition. Nope, I joined because I wanted to survive, essentially. I
Yeah.
didn't want
I imagine a lot of people join various parts of military, army, things like this, solely so they can get ahead a bit, or it's an easier path than having to find a way to pay off that debt. It's a sad state of affairs, but hey, I don't blame him.
to have hundreds of, maybe not hundreds of thousands, but tens of thousands of college student loans after I graduate. And
There you
so
go.
I did what the most logical thing there is available to me, and that is to enlist in the Marine Corps. Or as I like to call it now, selling my soul. Both working at McDonald's, enlisting in the Marine Corps, and also the jobs that I held afterwards, I now all consider as selling my soul. The
Interesting.
reason for that is because as I grew older, I started to understand and see that life isn't all just about doing, dude, nice car. Guy with infinity. Life isn't about working hard just so that you can survive. There is a higher purpose in each and every one of us to live out and fulfill in our lives than just plugging ourselves into a workstation like a NPC villager in Minecraft. Because
I agree. Although I think the case is not that working a job in, for example, McDonald's or a supermarket like I did is necessarily NPC related. Those things can be fulfilling. It's just that the reward you get from doing them these days is terrible. And maybe your boss is terrible as well. And your inability to then leave and find a job that is more fulfilling, no matter the job, is more difficult. Let me just be clear on that.
that's essentially what we are taught to do. You grow up, go to high school, just so that you can go to college, just so that you can pick a job station to fit yourself into in society.
You're right.
And as I started growing up more and more and more and seeing more of life, and what it has to offer, and really looking within myself and what I truly want in my life, I realized eventually that nothing is worth the amount of time and energy that I have to sacrifice just for the sake of money.
Yes, I think a lot of people feel like that right now. But it's simply because the reward isn't rewarding enough, I believe. Stacking shelves in a supermarket, putting up the food, making sure it's right, serving people, selling them what they need to eat is a fulfilling job. You are providing the nation with a means to get food, with a means to be able to eat with ease, with convenience. This is not a meaningless job. The problem is that when you're then not being rewarded with something that is supposed to be fulfilling, at least to a small degree even, that's when it starts feeling like, hey, it's not fulfilling, there's no purpose because I'm not able to be rewarded for what I'm doing. Many cases it's just that, really. And in the US it's way harder. Remember, I worked in a supermarket in Denmark. Very, very different than working in a supermarket in the United States.
No amount of things that I could buy with the money that I sacrifice everything to earn satisfied me.
Keep in mind, of course, McDonald's is a very different job than a supermarket, right? You could argue it's way more unfulfilling. It's just some fast food chain. Maybe it brings some joy to certain people, but currently the food in there is terrible. So I get it, way more unfulfilling. I'm starting to associate what I did as being fulfilling, perhaps, or can be fulfilling with what he did, and it's not the same thing. I apologize.
When I was younger, this didn't really hit me, but later on, looking back, I realized that the gaming station I was able to buy, the first Xbox 360 from GameStop that I bought secondhand with my McDonald's money, that didn't really make me happy. Sure, I had a lot of great experiences, but it didn't really make me happy. The car that I was able to buy after I got out of boot camp was my dream car at the time, my Subaru Impreza. I would have loved to have a WRX, but the Impreza was like the next best thing, and it was right in my budget. And even after I got that, I realized that didn't really make me happy either. And as I continued to live my life, I recognized this trend. Not very clearly at first, but it became clearer and clearer and clearer as I began to live my life, as I began to get more and more of the things that I have wanted. Yeah. For example, building my own PC for gaming didn't really make me happy, unfortunately. Getting a girlfriend didn't really make me happy, unfortunately.
Well, that's sad. Maybe she wasn't a good person, I don't know, but getting a girlfriend should be a happy thing. It's been the dating world these days, especially in the West, is so complicated, so unfulfilling, so unrewarding for a lot of people. These dating apps are basically dead. It's like, it's a terrible thing to grow up now and try to get a partner and something that's like rewarding. Oh my God.
In fact, it made me kind of sad.
I wouldn't want to live those days now. Holy crap.
Afterwards, because we ended up breaking up and having a lot of issues in our relationship.
Yeah, part of life.
I'm not saying that the relationship was all bad, but what I am saying is that it didn't make me happy and ended up actually making me sad. Or for example, when I was able to buy my own tools and start to create a lot of intricate welding art that I sold some and kept some for myself, I felt really proud of myself for being able to do that, but even that didn't really truly make me happy. And that's when I started realizing that things on the outside cannot make me happy. Happiness is the state of being that I have to choose for myself in each and every single moment. I can choose to be happy when I have $1 million, and at the same time I can choose to be really sad when I have that same $1 million.
Sir.
In fact, a lot of millionaires and people who are quote unquote successful in the eyes of society have like lamented that even after they became successful, it didn't really make them happy.
That's the beauty of the internet, that the people who have become successful can tell us that that these external commodities or things are not the solution, in some sense, to happiness.
And I thankfully didn't have to sacrifice everything to get to that level of success and to see and feel the emptiness to realize this. I'm thankful I didn't have to do that. But at the same time, I realized that outside things cannot make me happy.
Yeah.
And so that's why I decided, after a lot of introspection and thinking, and also experiencing for myself what being homeless is like, why I then made my choice that I would rather starve and die on the streets than sell my soul for money ever again in my life.
All right, it just ended right quick, right there. Why I chose to be homeless, starve, than sell my soul. I wish you the best. I wish you the best, honestly. What? And you've come to an important conclusion here. Oh my God. You've come to a very important conclusion here. I think one of the best examples that we can find to learn from is the Philippines. They are some of the most joyful people, sometimes with the least assets in their hands. Yes, the place has mental issues, depression, suicide, of course it does. But goddamn, there are some places where you can find they can have joy with the least of things. And in the West, we have been inundated with the idea that you must have things in order to smile, in order to get ahead. Well, ahead is different, but this is I think a lot of depression, a lot of things like this come from the idea that you need things to be happy. We really just need more community and more people around us, and there's a disturbing trend these days that people just hate other people. This idea that, oh, I just don't want to be around other people anymore. They're annoying. They're not good. They're bad people, or I'm tired of it. We need each other more than ever. We really do. If we can get rid of our dumb egos, our ability, we need our ability to just talk to each other, and not the facade type of talking. To help each other when it's needed, instead of all these transactions. I'll tell you one thing, Americans are some of the kindest, most giving people if you take away transactions. Sir, you don't need to be homeless. You don't need to do all these things to experience joy. Seems like he's on his way to figure it out, and I really wish him the best. I really do. Let's give him a subscribe. I want to see what he comes out with. Let's see. Yes, I completely agree. Rooting for you. Same. Do it. When I was 18, I was working on a really lame cruise ship, and I could tell that something was harming me. If I had a moment where I told myself that, yes, I was selling my soul for the money, place to live, and food that my crappy employer was providing, it was a pivotal moment for me, because I could see the situation clearly and chose to go against my inner self. No, you chose to follow your inner self. I continue to do the same in different ways for nearly 30 years. Damn. I wish you the best. I pray for you. Stay safe. Blah, blah. Good stuff. Saw you the what? Is this algorithm? Saw you in the algorithm and sub 2 minutes ago. Oh my God, bro. That is hilarious. That's the thing. Look how much response. These are not small responses. Look how big they are. A lot of people are feeling this way, I'm sure. Oh my. I hope your video blows up. That's true. The West is failing in its hunt for ultimate consumption and individualism. It's failing in joy and happiness. Are you feeling this way? Write in the comments. We've all had to go through this damning reality that playing the system is just not going to get us to the peace we need in our head and able to take a smile at the complete small things and normalization of life. Hey, had a coffee this morning? How does it taste? You see a flower blooming? Smell it. You have a woman or a man who's treating you well and wanting to support you in your life in your worst and best moments? Appreciate it. You have your parents around still? This is great. The small things in life are more powerful than you might think, but it has to change up here, just like he says. It's a difficult game because we're taught something else all the time. But let me be clear. Working a normal job isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just that the reward might be too bad. In that case, you need to decide to do something else. I understand. A lot of people face this difficulty now. I also hated the normal idea of life. And in fact, I never followed it. This idea that you come out, you get an education, you follow some factory line at jobs. It can be an office. It doesn't have to be a factory. And there you go. You retire. I haven't done any of that. I don't care about it. And many are realizing that now, that this thing isn't rewarding anymore. It used to maybe be more rewarding. Think about everyone who's coming out of tech in universities just to find that everyone else is doing the same thing and there's too much supply of tech workers. It's a sad state of affairs, but every time the government tries to touch something and make a path for the individual, it rarely works. And school is one of them. I wish you the best, brother. I guess your name is Ernest. I wish you the best, Ernest.